your community.
Ensuring the needs of veterans, whether it's mental or physical, are just two of the goals for Overton Brooks VA in Shreveport. And a man who's making sure those goals are met is Republican U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy, who's in town to tour the facility and joins us this morning. Thanks so much for being here. We kind of got the memo on the yellow.
It's springtime.
It is spring. We'll talk about your tour today and what you're hoping to accomplish.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously I'm a physician, and our veterans have to be served. The Veterans Administration Hospital is one of those things that is there to serve veterans. There's been problems.
Yeah.
And so I figure if I can bring my expertise as a physician to touring the facility, looking at it from Washington, D.C. perspective, statistics, etc., hopefully we can help this function better, not for the VA's sake, for the veteran's sake. Yeah. The veteran should be first, and the VA is there to serve the veteran.
And talk about it. You mentioned it a little bit there. You touched on it about the problems and challenges with the Veterans Affairs offices throughout the nation, including here on wait times and things like that. What are you hoping to get accomplished there?
At first, you build relationships, ideally speaking both to patients and to those who are treating the patients. And you just start getting a sense. I'm on the Veterans Administration Oversight Committee in Washington, so we're looking at statistics. But statistics, you have to add to it the person. We are there to serve the veteran. If I can learn something that helps me serve that veteran, then hopefully the veteran is better off and I'm doing my job.
Okay, good to know. And of course, you guys have been busy there in Congress for the past couple of weeks. One thing that throughout Capitol Hill, you've talked about the Senate budget bill, also been working on the Affordable Care Act, and you talked about repealing that. Just talk about where you guys are looking there.
Yeah, the Senate voted recently to, again, repeal the Affordable Care Act. The president will veto that. But it's interesting, Stephanie, 53% of Americans still disapprove of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, if you will. And I think it's because, although there's benefits, is that the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare coerces Americans into doing that which they don't want to do. It bribes them, it mandates, it penalizes if they don't. We have to come up with a system that cares for people, helps them with their health insurance, but they're not being coerced. It's not the federal government squeezing them, making them do something they don't want to do. That's our challenge. I think we'll have opportunity to do so.
Okay. And you guys in the Senate have been working on a budget bill, looking at maybe reforms there. Also, with energy, talk about that.
Just passed a budget bill, and one of those, that an amendment we proposed, is to keep the federal government from killing oil and gas jobs. Right now, the challenge in our country is creating better jobs for working families. Now, to create those jobs, no industry is more effective than oil and gas. Maybe at the wellhead, all the way down to the gas pump. Somehow that industry creates good paying jobs and good benefits. The Obama administration doesn't care for that industry and therefore doesn't care for those jobs. We're just trying to keep the Obama administration from trying to regulate it to death so that that working family who depends upon that job still has it.
Okay, and so I guess what's next, I guess, as far as the budget bill? It's passed, as you said.
It's passed. But we'll come after this. There's something called the doc fix, which those people on Medicare, sometimes they can't see their physician because the physician may not be paid adequately for Medicare, maybe paid below the physician's cost. This will fix that. That's the next big thing on the agenda.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Senator Cassidy, for joining me this morning. All right. Your time right now is 6:52. Up next, Patrick's back with the final check of your forecast. But first, Steve Bender tells us what's ahead on the Today Show. Steve.